Hello, everyone, this is TVG. Where are you, Mario? When do we need you so much? We're having a parade of summer heat in the gaming information field. And not just any information. At archf.org, the source code of the very first Far Cry, which is still from Crytek, not Ubisoft, suddenly appeared. Along with it appeared an early version of the CryEngine. According to modders, this leak is enough to port the game to Nintendo Switch, for example. Who did this remains a mystery, as well as the purpose of this action. Although users of archf.org think that the purpose is a banal desire to save the game for history. Well, enthusiasts are already looking at the code and anticipate the appearance of various graphical and not only global modifications for the game. Coming up. At once, two insiders have begun divulging information about the third installment of The Last of Us. One of them claims that filming will begin soon with actors to capture the moves. According to his information, it's going to happen this year, and Ellie will play an important role in the third part, with time as much as the second game. Another well-known insider in the Marvel and DC environment, Daniel RPK, added more information about the new characters and hinted at the plot of the game. He claims that the third installment will feature a group of survivors struggling to survive in an outskirt ruined Victorian-style town. Important characters will be, well, the leader of this group, Mr. Ezra, and former military man Mason, who will face a choice between loyalty to Ezra and the welfare of the group. There will also be a young man named Lucas, who will seek to establish a relationship with another member of the group, but at some point will do the wrong thing. Also appearing will be a girl named Gracie, between the ages of 19 and 25, about whom nothing is known. The information provided by Marvel's Daniel Richman often contained credible information. I've done a little research on this part of YouTube. It's interesting to hear and discuss all of these leaks, but of course we can't be sure without official statements about the development of Part 3 of the game. Microsoft and Activision Blizzard continue to litigate, and from them comes new interesting and unexpected information. Recall that some time ago Tom Henderson revealed information about an upcoming version of the PlayStation 5 with a removable disk drive. At the time, he claimed that it would be neither the Slim version nor the Pro version of the console. However, at the trial, Microsoft said that they expect to release a new refined Slim version of the PlayStation 5 at a reduced price by the end of this year. It is specified that the price will be $400 for the digital version without the drive. Microsoft documents also mention the PlayStation 5 Pro. All of these leaks have caused Henderson to change his mind a bit, and he now says that Sony is quite capable of releasing the version of the console that he previously talked about, although he calls it Slim. As for the Pro version, according to his sources, it won't hit the market until late 2024. Sony has not commented on any of these leaks at this time. So, now there is a leaked 18-minute gameplay of Payday 3 game. Previously only fragments, shown by the developers, were available online. Now the video is available online and was recorded by an ordinary man from Vietnam. However, Starbreeze Studio is strictly controlling which fragments can be shown and which are not yet available, because the game is still in development. There have been several test sessions with bloggers and media, but one blogger broke the rules and his video was removed due to copyright violations. Nevertheless, the video can still be found on the internet, as the internet works by its own laws. In the gameplay, the team tries to stealthily infiltrate the bank, but things don't go according to plan. It is interesting to note that the instructions for the robbers are given not by the familiar character Bane, but by a certain woman with a pleasant voice. It is seen that civilian characters can be used as shields and exchanged for useful resources, perhaps ammunition, grenades, or abilities. Safes and locks have been replaced by simple mini-games, similar to how it was implemented in Crime Boss or Sleeping Dogs. The music in the gameplay also sounds good, though without Simon Wickland's involvement. Some of the arrangements resemble new versions of older tracks, including a nice Dash Wish track. In dialogue with the series curator, Al Merlisto, it was slipped in that there will only be 7 heists at the start of the game, in addition to the one shown in the bank. While this may not seem like enough, the developers may be planning to add dozens more heists over the next 10 years. The official release of the game is expected in September. Have you been waiting for Hollow Knight, Silksong? Well, who hasn't? To brighten up the wait, the team of modders of the original Hollow Knight game offers the release of a major modification called Pale Court. The mod adds new amulets, music, characters, and even a few new bosses, legendary warriors, to the game. It is specified that the fresh trinkets from the mod can also be used outside of the mod, in the original company. Once again, on the rise, a large-scale modification for Dark Souls 3 called Archthrones has not yet been released. However, in September, which is, frankly, not often, the creators of the mod promised to release a demo trial of their project, and also presented a teaser trailer. According to the developers, the action of Archthrones will unfold in 5 new worlds and offer an alternative story. Lothric, they promise, will be wonderfully reimagined. The new worlds will be accessible from a place called Nexus. The developers hope that the project will do without creating another version of Demon of the Flame. The new worlds will come with new items, bosses, and some allies. The further fate of the project probably depends directly on fan funding through Patreon. Fan creativity and preservation of gaming heritage play an important role in the gaming industry. The creators of RPCS3, the most popular PlayStation 3 emulator, have undertaken the development of the PlayStation 4 Emulator. At the moment, the development is in the early stages, and full launch of games on this emulator is not yet implemented. However, the development team is working on the emulator version for the Linux operating system as a priority, and the Windows version will be developed later. Nevertheless, there are already other emulators for PlayStation 4 available in the range. However, the RPCS3 team stands out for their success in emulating the PlayStation 3 and plans to continue this trend with the PlayStation 4 emulator. Their goal is to provide the ability to run even those projects that are not currently available on the PlayStation Store. This is important for players, especially given the popularity of projects such as PT, which has been removed from the PlayStation Store. Fan developments in game console emulators help preserve and affordably present classic games and projects that are no longer available for purchase or play on the original platforms. They allow players to enjoy unique gameplay and explore past game industry hits. Now about Kojima and more. E3 is probably already over. But the Tokyo Game Show is planning its triumphant return, and already more than 500 participants have been officially confirmed. Among them are Kojima Productions, as well as Bandai Namco, Capcom, Konami, Microsoft, Sony, Nintendo, Sega, and many others. However, it's worth mentioning that there are some limitations. Only 100 of them will be in the main area. Kojima Productions will be in the merchandise area, Nintendo will be limited to business meetings, and Sony will be standing in the indie area. But clearly they will have an interesting program at TGS 2023. If you find yourself in Chiba, Japan from September 21st to 24th, check it out. Then maybe you'll tell me what it was like there. The Anime Expo 2023 Festival of Anime and Japanese Culture has probably already come to its conclusion. It was held in Los Angeles and attracted the attention of gamers, despite its name. Atlas stood out in particular, as it presented gameplay trailers for 2 projects at the show. The first trailer was dedicated to the remake of the game Persona 3. The video showed both peacetime and Shadow Dimension battles. Also, an updated cast was introduced. The English voice acting in the remake was changed, although the new voices sounded very close to the original. The second project is a tactical spin-off from the 5th Persona 5 game, called Persona 5 Tactica. The trailer explained how the abilities of the main 3 characters will work. For example, the Joker's weapons have a high range, but he can only focus on one target. Morgana will be able to push opponents out from behind cover. And Irina, the enigmatic leader of the Revolutionary Army, will be able to deal damage to multiple enemies at once and use the Freedom Flag, which heals allies in range and leaves enemies vulnerable. The tactical game is scheduled for release on November 17th, while the Persona 3 remake won't hit the shelves until next year. Both games will be available as part of a Game Pass subscription from their release. Well, that's all for me today. Thank you for your attention. Until we meet again on TGV.